$38,000 plus in races 6 through 11, but we got a bunch of carryovers today. We also have one in the pick 5 today. The pick 5 starts in race number 7, $20,000 plus. We know, Katie, when this has 20,000 plus, it's going to be well over $100,000. It's a great bet, only a 50-cent wager. And for you super high five players, almost $4,000 in that pool, 3,900. So lots of fun today with our 11 race card.
Carryovers galore today. It's going to be one exciting day coupled with our 2 stakes on the card. It's going to be very exciting and lots of exciting things going on in racing all around the country. So why don't we get right to Twitter?
Yeah, let's get right to Twitter. And we want to start it off with a horse that we saw make its debut here and go yesterday and be unbelievable at Saratoga.
She was unbelievable. That was off the tracks, trained by our very own Roderick Rodriguez, who trains horses, has his barn at Gulfstream Park West, runs here. We watched her, was completely dominant in her career debut, and goes and shows them what the Florida fillies are made of up at Saratoga, won the Schuylerville, and congratulations to their team. It's nice to see them going on and doing some big things.
Yeah, and you know, at Saratoga, I've been going there since I'm a pup, and of course here at beautiful Gulfstream Park, there's a favorite guy that we had, not going to be around anymore, and I'm talking about the Chief, Alan Jerkins.
They have a brand new Walk of Fame at Saratoga, and they're putting mementos from everyone that they've inducted so far for this honor. And I remember going over to Alan's barn here at Gulfstream and getting a little video clip, and he made a little speech for when he was inducted. He couldn't be there in person, and now they have this wonderful exhibit for him there. I was very touched when I saw this.
And you also, Wise Dan, looks like he's getting ready to come back, and he's going to just add to the excitement of racing this rest of the summer and the fall.
Speaking of champions, it's nice to see Wise Dan coming back and continuing to stay on track. He had another breeze yesterday and looking good, so we wish him the best as our 2-time Horse of the Year makes another comeback.
Yeah, and one of the toughest geldings you're ever going to see. So excited he's going to be back racing again this year. Now let's delve into our Saturday card. As I mentioned at the top, fast main track, firm turf course, the first race on the grass. These are claimers. They're fillies and mares. They're 3-year-olds and upward. Non-winners of 2 races in life. They're going to run for a $16,000 tag. 1 jockey change and 1 scratch. The jockey change comes on the inside horse number 1. Make the rider Apprentice John Cruz. The weight will be 109 pounds. Also scratch the number 9 horse in there. Our bands Make Her Dance. And Katie and I both have the number 7, Dreaming of Angela. It looks like a logical choice after that last performance.
Absolutely. She really impressed this daughter of Ken Tharos last time out when making her turf debut. That was on June 24th. She went wire to wire, drew off by almost 3 lengths, and that was against $35,000 maiden claimers. It was just her 2nd career start. I think she's perfectly spotted by trader Michael Petro for a first start against winners.
Yeah, no, those blinkers look like, all the changes last time out were perfect for her. You knew I'd have this horse in second. And
I did.
Penny, number 3, and this one has been knocking on the door versus this level of competition last time out. It was a pretty good performance. Finished second at odds of 54-1. Been having a lot of fun with the name of this horse. Last time out, I didn't pick it, and it ran second at 54-1. The trainer is Chuck Simon, and he's got Eder Martinez in the saddle again. Eder Martinez, an exercise rider for Chuck Simon, rode a really good race last time out, so I wasn't, not everybody says, oh, who's this jockey? He rode pretty good last time out, so I put number 3, Penny in second, and you went with the number 2, Moonlight Matinee.
Another who's going to be making her first start against winners, but I thought again was an impressive maiden-breaking performance. Did it up at Tampa Bay Downs, drew off by 3 lengths in their turf sprinting debut, but we'll have to see how that form translates here to Gulfstream.
Yeah, and I threw in the 8 for my 3rd pick, Morgan Falls, dropping to the $16,000 level after following her $12,500 maiden score. She goes up, she chases the pace, she weakens, she finishes not bad, 5th in there against $30,000 condition claimants. Kathy Ridvo is the trainer. Eddie Castro in the saddle today.
What about Wildcat Magic? This one hasn't been seen since finishing 8th in the Juvenile Philly Turf Sprint Stakes This is one that is run in stakes company. The big class drop coming off a long layoff is a bit of a concern, but she's been training well, so we'll see how she performs in there.
And she's 15-1 on the morning line. What a great way to start your early daily double. As Katie mentioned at the top of the show, we have 2 stakes races today, and our first one comes right in race number 2. It's 1 mile, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. It's the Monroe Handicap, $75,000. Scratch number 5, best behavior. Want to go back and show you the performance of the horse that we both have on top of our ticket. One of 2 horses left in the race for training Marty Wolfson, and that's to Kiss to Remember.
And this is the best Marty Wolfson horse left in the race that she was there to begin with. Take a look at this performance. This is from the Princess Rooney on the Summit of Speed card. This was her first start for trainer Marty Wolfson. See how wide she gets caught? She's making a very sustained bid. This is on a day that the track was playing towards the speed, and she was able to close very well. She's going to end up finishing 3rd, and it's notable who would finish ahead of her. Only Mary Meadow, just so classy, and Flutterby, another who's just a really nice race mare. So I think if she can duplicate that performance, she far outclasses this group.
And Marty Wilson, very good with horses stretching out in distance. She made a key point there, first time in South Florida in the Marty Wilson barn. So lots of things to like about the number 3, Kiss to Remember. We both have the 4 in here. And BL's Wagon, this one gets a major class check today in the first start since posting 3 consecutive victories at the distance. Won those 3 races by a combined 28 lengths. So going to get a little bit of a class check. Larry Pilati, the trainer, and Edgar Prado will be in the saddle.
She's done absolutely nothing wrong, deserves a chance in this spot, but again, she is going to be tested for the first time in a very big way. The first win of that 3-race win streak came at the $6,250 claiming level, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and we both used the 6 lemon point in there, going from the turf to the main track for trainer Phil Gleaves.
I'm intrigued by this one. She really ran a fantastic race last time out in the Spook Express Stakes. She finished 3rd, only beaten a length and a half. That was her debut for the Phil Gleaves barn. Her form and her class is certainly not a question, but we'll have to see how she handles the dirt.
Yeah, she's never won on the dirt. She's only had a couple of starts. She's actually only had 1 start. It looks like it was on and off track and didn't fare too well. So that's the unknown there. But as Katie mentioned, ran pretty well last time out. Race 3 is on the turf, 5 furlongs. These are maiden claimers, 3 and up. $12,500. Scratch the morning line favorite in here, number 4, Gunnery. Jockey on the 10 is David Baracco. The weight is 118 pounds. I know I had the 4, Gunnery, on top. Scratched into the 7, Forest Warrior. Is that what happened with you?
That's exactly what happened with me. I did go with the morning line favorite. That's because he finished ahead of this horse that we're now going to talk about, Forest Warrior. He finished 3rd behind Gunnery in his turf sprinting debut on July 12th, but I thought that was a very solid turf sprint debut that he can really build off of, and I really like that Harry Hernandez picks up the mount in this race, and that now makes him the top choice here.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly with that horse scratched into it. I mean, Gunnery looked really strong in it, but not going to run, so we won't talk about her anymore, or him anymore, I should say. But the 6, Gasparilla Invader, who you have in 3rd and I have in 2nd, cutting back to a sprint distance, showed some early speed last time out, retreated. That was against Simla, going 7.5 furlongs and a mile respectively. So this one's going to try this abbreviated 5 furlong distance. But I can understand the number 3, Executive Mandate, being your second choice.
Another one who came out of the last race that the morning line favorite, that's been Scratch Gunnery, as well as Forest Warrior, came out of. He was 5th that day, but he seems to be training very well, turning a bullet over at Gulfstream Park West to tune up for the start.
And he'll be ridden by Luca Panici as Harry Hernandez moves to Forest Warrior today. So if you guys are keeping check of all your favorite jockeys, there's a little bit of a move there. Race number 4 today, 6.5 furlongs. Claimers, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, or 3-year-olds, $6,250. And we have a field of 7 runners, and handpicked has certainly been on a roll.
He has been, and I did not pick him last time out, and I regretted it. Boy, did he impress me. He jumped up 2 conditions from his maiden breaking score, and yet again, he ran away with the race by 6 widening lengths. He's already defeated non-winners of 3 before he had even won 3 races of his own. If he runs like he did last time, the extra half a panel is not going to be much of a problem.
Yeah, and these the 3-year-olds that are in good form fit these race conditions perfectly. The horse I threw in second, Katie, was the 2 Bellamy Chief, who's going to stretch out this distance 6.5 furlongs. He broke from the rail last time out. He dueled for the lead. He got caught late when finishing third. He's only beaten 2 lengths in that race, so I thought it was a pretty good performance. I don't know if he can turn the tables on the red-hot hand pick, but I'm certainly going to use number 2, Bellamy Chief, on my ticket.
He's the 5-2 second choice. Definitely figures in there. I took a good long look at him, but I ended up putting the 3 T's 2-step in second, who you also use. This one's from the Luis Ramirez barn. He's going to cut back from a mile, just held on for third at that distance last time out on July 10th. 2 starts back, he was a solid second to a horse named Podachan, who at the time had won 3 of his last 4 starts, so was really on a roll. I think he might be able to sit the trip in here. Speed has been playing well, but I think yesterday we started to see some horses coming from stalking and off the pace.
Yeah, so always a key to watch these earlier races to see how the track is playing today. Let's go to race number 4. Race number 5 today. I forgot to flip the page. That always helps today. And this one is 1 mile on the turf. 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of a turf race since January 25th. $8,000. We only have 1 scratch so far to 13. We'll get all the scratches and changes will be updated by Pete Aiello, our track announcer, when he comes back. And we were mentioning this the other day. This is the first time I think at the meeting we saw a condition like this. Non-winners of a turf race since January 25th. That is 6 months. And you know, the fact that there's 10 runners in the body of a race. It was a popular condition to write, and we both went with the number 10 horse in the Amuda Sadir.
I think he just has a class edge on this field. He's dropping out of an allowance and should appreciate the class relief after he didn't hit the board in that race. But in each of his previous 2 starts, he finished second. He was beaten just a half length each time, and each were in open company, going to face condition claimers today.
Well, we got a rubber stamp. Well, they got the 7, 9, and 10 out now. Or 7, 9, and 10. We'll get you updated on those condition scratches and everything when we come back. You know, we got a rubber stamp in this race right here with our 3 selections. We both have the 5 Rome Burned in second. Finds an ideal spot to try the turf again. After finishing second in a pair of 6,250, that was against multiple winners and open claimers on the main track. So I just thought Mike Trombetta adds blinkers, the surface switch today. Because of this condition, I think this 5 Rome Burned fits nicely.
Completely agreeing. He does have a win on the turf from the past. It's been a while, but definitely figures in here, and Trombetta does very well adding blinkers to his runners.
And you also used the number 1 Angel C, which I did, who's going to break from that rail today.
Yes, he returned from a brief 6-week freshening last time out, ran a nice second to the morning line favorite that day, which was Discreet Ed. Don't see why he can't get a piece of this if he runs like he did last time.
Well, let's go to race number 6, and this is where the Rainbow 6 starts. With an 11-race card, we have races 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. See how it works out? Rainbow 6, last 6 races on the card, 20-cent wager, $38,000 plus. 1 mile claimers, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, 6,250 to tag. Please note that the number 1 horse in here, None Tonight, will race with blinkers off this afternoon. We both have the number 5 horse, and it looks like the logical choice in here, Manny Blue Boy.
Yeah, he's really been turning in some strong performances. Each of his last 2 starts, he's run at this distance. He's finished second, beaten a neck and a length. So it's been pretty close, and he's only one of 2 horses in this field to have hit the board in his last start, and not only did he do that, he's hit the board in 4 straight races.
Yeah, and the only thing, you know, that maiden victory has been, second career victory, has been a little elusive on him, but a logical choice. The 10, Some Midnight Star is hoping to turn the tables on the aforementioned Manny Blue Boy after breaking from a tough post last time out. Post 12, stalking him throughout and finishing third right behind him, Kathleen O'Connell, Eduardo Nunez, little better in the post positions today. Could still break from the outside, but it's post 10 today.
I was going to say, unfortunately, he does not draw the best again, and I really liked him other than that outside post, so hopefully he can overcome that, but he's going to move in 2 spots, so I guess that's better than nothing.
Who else did you put on your ticket?
I threw in the Sundrop Kid, the other Kathleen O'Connell runner, and I'm just expecting a marked improvement from him, especially with the addition again of Harry Hernandez in the irons. 6 behind Manny Blue Boy and Sub Midnight Star last time out, but he was third against $8,000 claimers 2 starts back, and that was also at this distance.
Yeah, and I threw the one in there, none tonight, dropping to this level on the main track. He followed a maiden win, about $16,000 up in Tampa, chased the pace. I just thought he's going to race with the blinkers off today. Someone you might want to throw on your ticket today, but it looks like Manny Blue Boy is in that good spot to get that second career victory. Race number 7 today, a 5-furlong turf event, maiden special weight. Fillies, 2-year-olds. We have no scratches to report yet. We will update you, as we said. The main track only, or AE actually, 11, is still in as of this moment. But 5 furlongs on the turf. We want to go back and show you a horse I really like today, and that is the 3, Amelia's Wild Kitty.
Just from a pedigree perspective, this horse is going to love running on the turf today, but this was her first start, and you can see stumbles very badly there at the break, gets bumped around, and that makes her spot the field several lengths. Wesley Ward runners, they always show speed and go straight to the lead. This one did not have a shot. Today, she is going to get a shot, and again, with the pedigree, she's a half to Amelia's Wild Ride, a multiple stakes winner on the turf, and Edgar Prado going to be riding. He and Wesley Ward are winning races together at a 56% clip.
Yeah, they're doing good on the turf this year. That's 56%. Amelia's Wild Ride won the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint, I believe it was.
Yep.
So lots of things to like when you see my Rainbow Six ticket. That's the single, because I couldn't make heads or tails out of the stake race, latest stake race. Actually went deeper in there, but I singled this one in here. But a logical choice on the board is the horse I have in second, I thought, because of its last performance on the turf. Obvious choice to score. She responded last time out to that surface switch with a second place finish. Looked like a really good performance. Seems to have loved the turf course.
Yeah, moved forward in a really big way that day. But you know what? I actually went a different way, and I went with a first-time starter from the Ralph Nix barn. This is Shaka Khan. I believe this is a play off of a musician that... Yeah. From a while ago, quite a singer, Shaka Khan. I wish I knew more of this, but I'm going to have to listen to some of those songs. This is the daughter of Gone Astray. I just can't go against Ralph Nix right now with the way his first-timers have been running. She was a pickup at the OBS sale in April. And Gone Astray, his 2-year-olds are winning maiden races at a 25% clip. And this one has some pretty nice works on record. Went 4 furlongs and 48-3 on July 11th. So taking a little bit of a shot with an unknown, but I just had to go with the barn. But since I didn't single Amelia's Wild Kitty and went another way, I'm going to have to go deep in here.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought, I didn't look up at her selections. I just took it for granted that you had the 3 on there. I was thinking that she was thinking I was like me, but she was not. So we'll see. That's my single in there. Now I go deep the rest of the way. You know, after the first leg, I used 2 horses. Then I go deep the rest of the way because I found the rest of the races on the card challenging, to say the least. This 8th race, 6 furlongs, maiden special weight, 2-year-olds, fillies under maiden special weight conditions. Nice field here, 10 runners, because we have 1 scratch of the number 5 Rayana Dream, and number 2 Nano's Crown is stretching out to this is the first 6 furlong race for 2-year-olds at the meeting.
And we've got another rubber stamp on this race, Ron. I like Nano's Crown too from the David Fox barn. She made a really strong rally to get up for 3rd in her career debut on July 5th. Came from 4 wide. She's a daughter of Big Drama. Again, has a really solid foundation from that first start to build upon.
Yeah, and just going with that trainer-jock combo, David Fawkes and Eddie Castro, a 10-5-1-1. That's 50% on the dirt this year. So lights of selections. A horse we both have in section is number 9. That's My Bay. This is a daughter of General Quarters by Sky Mesa, debuting for Kathleen O'Connell. Series of bullet workouts showing across town on that stamina-enhancing Gulfstream Park West training track. Don't know what to make of these works, but sure a lot of bullets.
Yeah, and if she wins, she would actually become the first winner for General's Quarters, who is a multiple Grade 1 winner, earned more than $1.2 million in his career.
And we both used 7 Tiz Alta. This one stretching out that additional furlong we've been talking about. Failed to get untracked. It was in the slop. I'm going to give this horse one more chance. Larry Pilati, really good with the horses making his second start. Edgar Prado in the saddle.
In complete agreement there. I think she should move forward if she gets a dry track today.
Well, let's go to race number 9, and this is our second of 2 stakes races on the afternoon. 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf for 3-year-olds. It's the $75,000, the Bears Den, and we got one scratch in here, and that's number 2, Mr. Amos. And we want to go back and show you a couple of horses actually that are in this race today in their last start. Well, it's actually on June 20th, and we're talking about the horse both Katie and I have on top of my point exactly, and Rizwan.
Here's our exacta here. They both ran in the King Kugat Handicap. Take a look at Rizwan. This in the King Kugat Handicap was this colt's very first loss at a mile and a 16th on the grass. He was caught incredibly wide going into the first turn. He was very much hindered by that 10 post position. He comes running at the end, but my point exactly gets a much better trip, and this is now a 2-time stakes winner on the grass for trainer Bill Kaplan. Gamely rallies between horses. He's going to get the win that day. He's going to be returning to the grass after he ran in the Carryback Stakes last time out. I think these are 2 quality horses, and one of them, I think it could go either way, but I gave my point exactly the edge.
Yeah, you mentioned my point exactly. The 2 turf races, one is the victory in the King Kugat, the other one was in the race in Louisiana Downs, the Sunday Silence. So 2 stakes races on the grass, won both of those. Rizwan, we both have in second. You saw Rizwan in there. He was coming out of the Raymond Earl, which was a mile and a half. He came back. I just thought that was too much for him to handle myself. Coming back today, this colt loves this turf course. He's 8 wins, 8 starts, 4 wins, and he's 3 for 4 at a mile and a 16th. So Rizwan would not shock me if he beat my point exactly. And the reasoning that I was going deeper in these other races, I went with the 1-horse 2-step Temper in third. This one I expect to show more today. He shipped in from the fairgrounds, returned from a 4-month layoff to run third against this level of competition. That was in the $75,000 optional claimer going a while. Mike Maker, really good with horses making their second start off the layoff. And I think this horse, I could not leave him off my Rainbow 6 ticket. If this horse improves, he might be able to beat both horses we were just talking about.
Well, there's another horse on the rise in here, and that's the 3 Semblance of Order from the Jenna Antonucci barn. Really seems to be coming into his own, this son of Arch. He's won each of his last 2 starts, most recently scored a game-head decision in an upper-level allowance here on June 30th. And boy, is he training well. Drilled 4 furlongs in 47-2 on July 15th. I agree with Ron. This is a very contentious stake race right here.
Yeah, I actually went 4 deep in there. So as I was saying, I couldn't really figure, because I can understand the 3 horses that you just mentioned winning it. Well, that race is that competitive. Race number 10 today is 5.5 furlongs allowance. These are optional claimer, actually. State-bred fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. The claiming level is $12,500. 1 medication note, number 11, Some Raw, will race with first-time Lasix. And we want to go back and show you the horse that we both have on top, and that's number 5, Pursuing Fate, who was back on Independence Day.
Yes, and I left Mike Maker off the ticket in the last race, but I will not do so here. This is Pursuing Fate. This is an allowance race, like you mentioned, from Independence Day, in which I thought she ran very well. She's going to finish third, but only beat in a length, and I really love the filly that won this race. That is Tar and Feather. That day she notched her 2nd straight victory, and she has the pedigree to go with it, a full sister to Awesome Feather, a champion 2-year-old. So I think this one's going to improve today. Mike Maker, he's going to add the blinkers. He's 24% with that equipment change, and I think that's going to help her show more speed when shortening up to this 5.5 furlongs.
Well, the horse I put in second was the one, and that's Benny First Baby. 3 for 3 in the money at the distance. Drops to this level today after a 2-race win streak ended when she finished third, beaten 3/4 of a length. It was a $16,000 optional claimer, going 3/4 of a mile last time out. So I think the little bit of the turn back, I like that the form that she's been in, and I'm going to put her on my ticket in there. You went with the number 8 in second, Silver Fog.
Another very competitive race. Another option is Silver Fog, who I think is going to return to form today when getting back on a fast main track. Finished off the board in the slop last time out, a surface she obviously did not care for, but I like the race 2 starts back. She did finish 4th, but I thought thought it was a really strong allowance. She finished behind the Bill Kaplan trained Moment of Delight, who's multiple stakes placed, and the talented Ralph Nix trainee Colt Classic. I think she's a very nice filly. So I thought she could figure in here with this company. But you also gave another option in here, and that's Yes, Ms. Olga.
Yeah, Yes, Miss Olga. This one now in the Marcial Navarro barn is the 7-time local winner. This horse has had 11 races here on this surface. 7 wins, 2 seconds in the third, so that's 91% in the money on this track. Hoping to bounce back after, I thought, an impressive 3-race win streak ended when she finished last. It was against similar last time out. The barn is 30% with new additions to the shed row. This horse is the quintessential horse for course play.
Absolutely, 91%. That is quite a percentage and statistic right there.
Well, let's go to a final race of the afternoon. 6 furlongs, claimers, 3-year-olds and up, $6,250. Please note that the number 11 horse in here, number 4, excuse me, in the 11th race will race with blinkers off. And I went with number 3, Dangerous Trick. Oh, I want to hear about number 10. Oh, Go Bernie Go. That's my buddy.
Yeah, well, you just mentioned Marcial Navarro. Yeah. This one is also running for this barn today. Going to make the turf to dirt move today, and the last time he ran on dirt for a tag, he won, was pretty impressive, so I gave him the edge here.
I went with my old buddy in here. That's the 3, Dangerous Trick, a 6-time local winner. Moved to the Walter Woodward barn via the claim, fresh off that second place finish, beating the neck as the favorite at this level and distance last time out. The local favorite here claimed 4 times this year, has James Vale in the saddle. They like this horse. I like this horse. I think he's going to run well in this spot.
Very popular horse, and he seems to run well with no matter who he's running with or for. So one that I might regret leaving off the ticket, but this is another race with a lot of horses with a shot. That includes the 7, Alico Castle, that we both used from the Peter Walder barn. He's going to look for back-to-back wins. Returned from almost a 2-month freshening to win at this level on June 18th. Was a 3.5 length victory. It was against condition claimers, but I think it was a win that was a confidence-boosting win that can get him back on track.
Well, you know, the horse that you have in third and I have in second, Smoke in the Field, who defeated Dangerous Trick twice back in April and May, renews the rivalry after closing late to defeat this level of competition last time out. If I like Dangerous Trick, I got to have Smoke in the Field on my ticket.
His running style kind of puts him at a little bit of a disadvantage with the way the track has been playing and favoring speed, but like we mentioned earlier, yesterday we started to see more horses coming from off the pace, so it might work more in his favor today.
You know, we also have the Super 5 High 5 in that race with over almost $4,000 in the pool, so there's a chance to use horses like this if you don't agree with our top selections in your Super High 5 ticket today, because you got to pick the first 5 finishers in the race. So that's how we see the Saturday card. It should be a fun day of racing. We got those great carryovers, 3 of them, the Rainbow 6, the Pick 5, and the Super High 5.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
You got it.